Tom Lee,
crypto is no longer considered
record-setting new bull market. So I don't feel like September will be huge, but I want to see what Tom Lee says about XRP.
Is such a huge barrier. The bigger picture looks very different though. Analysts are drawing a striking parallel. Ethereum today may be in the same position Bitcoin was back in 2017, when it rocketed from $1,000 into the financial spotlight as Wall Street started paying serious attention.
So I feel like at XRP at this stages, it's trying to become the next wave of technology. It's trying to even out and actually go into stock market, not just stay in crypto. It's trying to stay even during these bear markets. It wants to keep building technology and selling technology to banks. It's actually trying to get away. The only thing they're going to do is use technology of XRP and crypto. So it's very clear that, you know, it's going to have different run cycles than Bitcoin. I feel like it's going to be more on terms of development, like they release a new development or a new partnership. Bitcoin just followed when a whale bought, you know, when billionaires bought. That's when Bitcoin really grew.
And just like Bitcoin back then, Ethereum is now catching the eyes of institutions, hedge funds, asset managers, and major investors who see its role extending far beyond speculation. Many experts say $5,000 isn't just possible, it's realistic, especially since Ethereum already brushed $4,000 last December. The renewed momentum isn't just hype. On-chain data shows transaction volumes and active addresses hitting all-time highs. Developers are pushing network upgrades, the community is buzzing, and adoption is spreading across industries from decentralized finance to stablecoins. Even the regulatory environment, often seen as a stumbling block, may be tilting in Ethereum's favor. Differing from Bitcoin, Ethereum offers something.
Like, that's the thing. Like, Bitcoin didn't have its own run already. Now it's literally time for the altcoin season to start, which I don't feel like is going to be big as 2021. But Tom Lee literally hints that we are going to be seeing an altcoin rally in that sense. We are going to be seeing a massive influx of XRP getting bought. The pump we saw right now is already priced in from the lawsuit being over.
Institutional investors in their funds can't buy Ethereum directly. They need to find a way to get exposure to Ethereum, and they do it through public companies. That's why institutions bought MicroStrategy. It's their way to get Bitcoin exposure. Ethereum is going to capture so much of that value, and we're citing some work from Mosaics and from Fundstrat, but if you just think about it as payment rails moving onto Ethereum and some of the banking, you get to a network value of $60,000 value per ETH. So that's why we think it's one of the biggest macro trades over the next 10 to 15 years. But the reason we're attracting so much interest, because we become the largest and we're raising more than $1 billion per week, is because we are growing that institution's holdings of Ethereum per share. So they know that as a treasury, that's the importance, that an Ethereum treasury company has to be using capital markets and really good, smart ways to acquire Ethereum to actually grow the Ethereum held per share. And as your press release that you highlighted, from just a month ago, we went from 22.84 in ETH on July 27th to.
So why is he buying Ethereum? Mostly because he knows that the markets might pump. Didn't he just buy 10 billion Ethereum? Guess what? When he buys that, XRP goes up as well.
Cash held Ethereum token per share. So with the $9 billion worth of ETH held today, that's about almost $300 million of net income for Bitmine. So Bitmine is generating GAAP net income, pre-tax net income. But there's something else that's called the power law. And the power law is the idea that the larger someone is and part of an interconnected network, the greater their influence. And the third thing, of course, to keep in mind is that Ethereum is still generally not liked by institutions because most have bet on Bitcoin.
This is where XRP really wins. Like, institutions love it. They literally invited them to the government speech about crypto regulation.
So they're suddenly saying
about the Genius Act bill. They invited Brad Garlinghouse to voice his opinion.
I don't really.
That's a very positive sign.
Understand why we should be caring about Ethereum. As you know, this is why Ethereum is probably falling into the most hated rally, because year to date, Ethereum's up 35%. It's outperforming Bitcoin's 17% gain, but most institutions have zero exposure. That's why Kathy Wood says Ethereum, she thinks, is the institutional blockchain, but nobody really owns Ethereum except really the retail investor, and of course now Bitmine.
Yeah, and it's funny because we've seen Ethereum drop over the past couple of days, but when I look at the ETF inflows, I saw $500 million, 443 million to be exact, of net inflows from the BlackRocks, the Fidelities of the world. So it is quite interesting, the algos that are part of the crypto ecosystem. Obviously, those algos can go up or down, but there is a bid that is being put on this asset class.
A proper Ethereum treasury, raising capital actually is...
So there's also an XRP treasury that just raised 20 million. And once more treasuries come after the ETF, the crypto regulation, wow, there could be a lot more coming in. Just like Ethereum following the same path, you know, as Ethereum goes up, XRP goes up as well. But yeah, this is a new financial wave, in my personal opinion.
Anti-dilutive, because the ones that are executing it properly can grow your Ethereum held per share. If your Ethereum held per share is going up, none of the capital markets is dilution.
Right.
That's what I think fundamentally people need to understand the model. Now, if Bitmine was trading at or below its Ethereum holdings, that should not be a time to be raising capital, because that's dilutive. There is, zero intention for Bitmine to ever dilute its holders. And actually, I think it's been proven, because again, on July 8th, there was $4 of Ethereum held per share. And today, 7 weeks later, there is $40 of Ethereum held per share. So
yeah, it's pretty clear that also XRP, their massive goal is not to make more tokens like the US dollar is printed right now. The end goal of XRP is to get crypto out there and get it less and less and less and less, like to get XRP burned every single day.
Shareholder on July 8th, if they looked at their forward multiple, they paid $4.50 for the stock, when in just 8 weeks, there would be $40 of Ethereum held per share.
Ethereum isn't just holding its ground, it's starting to pull ahead. As 2025 winds down, Ethereum has actually outperformed most other major crypto assets.
So yeah, it is following the same pattern as XRP, outperformed by 600%.
Driven by record on-chain activity, surging developer adoption, and growing institutional demand. While Bitcoin continues to anchor the market, Ethereum's momentum is signaling that it could be a real leader in this next phase, setting the stage for what analysts call its strongest run yet. Embracing an unyielding enthusiasm for the Bitcoin realm, Tom Lee confidently predicts that explosive growth is looming on the horizon, as BlackRock and many other crypto giants are doing just that. Tom Lee reassures that a long-expected surge awaits. By the end of 2025, there will be 1.1 billion active crypto wallets. The pace of growth is hard to comprehend, and it will be the fastest accumulation of wealth we have ever seen. This is the conclusion of a career.
A lot of upside.
So look at this. Look at what he says here.
Of course, as you know, September is the month everyone's going to be worried about. So
September is the month you're going to be worried about. Again, guys, this is what I've been warning you about September.
Month where you might get a pullback, but you need to be buying that dip. And as you know, every pullback, everyone has been ringing the bell saying it's the top. That has always been a dip buying opportunity since 2020.
So historically, Septembers have been bad for XRP. Even billionaires are saying it.
22. So I just say keep that in mind, that you really should be buying a dip. We also have not seen the positive benefits of two things yet. A dovish Fed, because the Fed has been on hold. And so you're not really in a bull market if the Fed's on hold. And second is that the ISM, which is really a broad measure of economic activity, that's been below 50 for almost 30 months now. And so
what historically happens is September is when XRP goes down, even like a very heavy correction, like 30%, 20 to 30%, since its peak or whatever. And then October is when it finally makes one last push in the crypto altcoin markets, bull run markets.
Onshoring, etc. And then plus the AI tailwind. We also have not seen the positive benefits of two things yet. A dovish Fed, because the Fed has been on hold. And so you're not really in a bull market if the Fed's on hold. And
Exactly. So crypto has never seen AI and technology rising before. That's where XRP really wins.
50. So once that turns above 50, and that'll happen hopefully shortly after the Fed starts cutting again, then you have not only a manufacturing recovery happening, and especially with onshoring, et cetera, and then plus the AI tailwind. So actually there is a whole series of things that create a bull market. And look, I know it's a continuum for people because a lot of people are saying, well, I've already been making money in stocks. Why is it a new bull market? But really in the minds of the institutions, it's a new bull market. I still do Zooms.
So yeah, he's saying we're entering a new bull market once this September phase ends.
And meetings with institutional investors where they think that this is just simply bubble talk, that stocks have recovered on vapors because in their minds, central bank liquidity is required to justify a stock move, and the Fed has been on hold since all of 2025, right? So we're at least 9 months in. And there is no central bank balance sheet expansion either. So in their minds, then it's just simply someone who isn't grounded in understanding the Fed drives everything buying stocks. I think that that's kind of the overlying thesis for many people who do macro. But of course, 2025 has proven that that's not the correct thesis. I think what this year has proven is one needs to really look at what are the stocks that are important to the economy. And AI has done fine. AI hasn't cared about tariffs or inflation, and the required infrastructure investment has been very powerful. And that's
AI with this bull run could be one of the biggest gainers, basically. AI plus, banks basically looking for a solution, which might take some time. All of that, and also the basically rate cuts with 0.5 plus ETFs. Ethereum already saw its ETF price point, so XRP ETFs is gonna be massive in October until we perhaps wind down in 2026, in my opinion.
It's the infrastructure powering decentralized finance, stablecoins, and entire ecosystems of applications that regulate.
So you get a pretty clear idea what is going on in the crypto market right now. It seems like the government is gonna push for more productivity, for crypto getting more and more up, and also the stock market, because they're trying to make more jobs with what we are seeing right now with the new updates to the markets itself. So this is what the billionaires are talking. He also said on stream that, he's very excited when he's talking with other billionaires. They feel like it's the same thing.